Hi, welcome. My name is Amy. I'm coming to you from Montreal, Canada, and this is my brand new knitting podcast, Yarn Over Matter. I'm super excited to be here today. I've been wanting to start a podcast for quite some time now, and when I was thinking about planning and when to get started, New Year is always a great time to start something new. But then I thought, wouldn't it be fun if I started a new year with 0 whips? Brand new year, cast on fever. I think that'd be a ton of fun. I've never done that before. So in order to do that, I thought I would try to do a blitz of my current whips and see if I can finish them all up before the end of the year, which is a little ambitious. I might say, considering today is December 13th, but why not? Why not try a challenge? I've got a couple weeks off during the holidays, so I'll have a ton of knitting time then. And yeah, so consider this the prologue. I'm excited to be here and to have you along for my journey. Before I get started, I'd like to just call out what I'm wearing. So this is the Weekender Slipover V by Petite Knit. I love this thing. So I finished this earlier this year. I knitted up in Nordlund, which is a Swedish unspun yarn. And I'll talk about more about that at another time. I love it a lot. It's really wonderful to work with. It was new to me this year. So the color that I have in this one is called Snare. I'm saying that in French. I don't know if that's probably wrong, but with a French accent. But it's like a dark green, forest green. It matches my eyes, which is great. And I'm holding it with, the Camarose, you can see Camarose Mittens and the color Visengran. It'll be linked. But yeah, that combination is really wonderful. It makes for a really like drapey fabric. This pattern was just great. It was a delight to knit up. It knit up super quickly. I knit it on 5mm needles. The only modification that I did is that the ribbing was called for 4.5, but actually I did one of the, not the sleeves, but I did the ribbing on the arm, and I thought it was too loose and not neat enough, so I went down a full needle size for all of the ribbing, including the neckline and also the bottom hem. I also made the bottom hem a little bit longer than what is called for. So yeah, I absolutely love it. I have plans to make this in the same combination and more colors, just because it's so easy to slip over, as in the name, and it's really comfy and warm, and you can kind of either dress it up or dress it down. So yeah, anyways, lots to say about it. I love it a lot. And yeah, all right, so let's dive into the whips. So I've got 2 that are gift knits, which is non-negotiable, needs to be finished by Christmas. So the first one, and I'm sorry, I need to look down at my notes here. The first one is the Kuura Mittens. So this is a free pattern on Ravelry, which we love. And it's by Helena Joronen. And I've made a ton of progress. These are really quick to knit up. Sorry, I'm talking and I haven't even showed them. So here we go. This is what they look like. And again, I hope that you can see well. It's very gray outside. We'll see, I guess, when I'm editing after, if this all works out. So honestly, you can knit one of these up in a day. Really fun knit. It's it's at a big gauge, right? So the green color is the exact same combo as what I'm wearing here, except for my vest. I held the Nordlund single with the 1 strand of Mittens. And then this though, because they're like Mittens and I want it to be warm because it gets quite cold here, I held it double with the Mittens. So yeah, super engaging. There's just a tiny little bit of color work that switches. And then on the top, it's another color of Nutidin, again held double. I can't pronounce that one, so it'll be in the show notes. And it's held with a single strand of mohair that's from Stash from many years ago. So I'm sorry, I don't know what that color name is. But you know, just some information about these. They're very beginner friendly. This is the first pair of mittens that I've ever done. And it's super engaging. So like you cast on, you do some increases here, then you're right into the color work, and then you do a couple of rows, and then you're like binding off. So it's like super engaging. As I said, you can probably do it in like a day. I saved the thumbs for last, obviously. So yeah, I don't know. I've never knit at such a small circumference, so that'll be something new for me, but I think they're gonna turn out well. I'm excited to have these blocked. And as I mentioned, these are a gift knit for one of my best friends. And I'm really excited to gift them to him. Yeah, I think that's it for these guys. And next up is another gift knit that is my non-negotiable that needs to be finished. And this one too is really close to the finish line. This one is a sweater for my very lucky brother, if I may say. It is the Halibut sweater by Caitlin Hunter. It's been knit probably by thousands of people at this point. But here is my version. So my brother is very tall, so it's been you know, I knew I would need like quite a bit of time to like be able to finish the garment. So I started this actually back in July. It's knit up in Cascade 220. The navy, I think it's actually just called navy, and this one is one of their color changing yarns. Again, it'll be linked down below. The pattern was super fun, super engaging. It's been a while since I'd done any of like any color work, and all I have left really here is this sleeve. It's my first time using Cascade yarn. Cascade 220, and honestly, like, I have sensitive skin, so it's been really nice to knit with, even though I don't typically knit with yarns that have acrylic. It's just been flying, so it's really fun. I can, since I'm like not at the color chart anymore, even in meetings or during meetings at work, I can, you know, be on my team's call and just knit, which is really nice, and how I've gotten so much progress. In terms of the needle sizes, so the pattern calls for size 4, and I went up to 4.5 for the color work, because I know from the past, when I'm catching my floats, it tends to be a little bit tight. However, I did learn something new, so I can, hang on, let me show you the insides. All right, so first I started off with catching my floats, which you can see let's look at the side and side. Which you can see here is where I was catching my floats. And then on the reverse side, you can kind of see it underneath, which is fine. Again, like, I think this isn't going to be super form fitting for Jacob, well, my brother. So I think it's going to be fine. It'll block out. But halfway through, I said, you know what, why don't I just try to learn a new skill, which is the ladder back jacquard. And I always put that off, and I was too nervous, didn't think I had the right bandwidth to do it. But honestly, I don't know, it's super easy and it looks really cool. So if you can see here, this is the ladder back, and what it does is it creates this like its own fabric on the back end. So on the front, you can't see it peeking through. So yeah, that was a new learned skill for me. I think the only other thing that you'll notice I'm very introspective, and I always kind of like to analyze a little bit what I'm doing and kind of what did I learn from it. And so, you know, I'm sharing that with you now. But another thing that I learned through this process is that I think I'm a collar on last kind of gal, or at least after the cast on, because this pattern calls to cast on the collar. It's normal, I think, even for like top down, for most top down in the round circle yoke, sorry, and raglans. I think that's the norm, but I didn't make mine long enough. And honestly, I can't, like, I'm not going to go and cut it back and try to figure out how to put a new one in. Like, it just, I don't want to risk it. But I think had I started with the number of cast on, even just started a little bit and then gone back and cast on for the neckline, I would have probably continued the neckline a little bit longer. There'd also probably be a lot more structure. So because this yarn has acrylic in it, it doesn't have the same amount of structure, I find, as like a pure wool yarn. And there's ways to fix this. I'm not a crocheter, but I will learn how to do a reinforcement on the neckline for this because I don't want it to stretch out. I find if it's like, I've tried this on a few times and I noticed that like I really have to kind of pull the shoulder up so that it looks like. But anyways, I think that's it for this one. But yeah, I'm really excited. And actually, sorry, one last thing. I did a bit of yarn management for this because it started off very purple at the beginning of the skein. And I didn't want his first color to be purple. I liked more like the blue and the yellow that you can see here. So with that little bit that I had from the previous skein, and the two, like it called for 2 skeins to purchase in the pattern, but I have almost a full one left. I'm thinking of making myself one so we can have really nerdy matching fish sweaters, because like which siblings don't need that, right? Except for I would do mine probably with like I was looking at the colors that Cascade 220, no wait, is it Cascade? It might be Barocco, could be wrong, sorry. Look at the show notes, please, just in case that's incorrect. But anyways, it had a really beautiful sand color, so I thought that the contrast would be nice. And I will have some navy left, so even if I did kind of like just one line of navy at the cast off edges, it could be kind of like a shout out to this one. So yeah, now I think that's it about this this sweater. Yeah, sorry, I'll just put that to the side. Okay, so those, as I mentioned, non-negotiable. They need to be done. Have half a sleeve left. I can probably finish that tomorrow. And even the 2 thumbs, I really don't think that's long. Maybe I can finish that today. So that leaves me with 2 weeks to finish everything else I'm going to show you. It's not that much, but it's not a lot. So the first one is my Colette sweater by Sari Nordlund. I always flip the first and last name letters. Don't know why. Anyways, this was my birthday cast on in 2024. I absolutely love it. A lot of people love it. This is a really popular pattern as well. This yarn combination is incredible. And it's a bit of a shout out to Montreal, my local, 2 of my local yarn shops. So the base color is by Biscuit Yarns. That's a yarn shop here in Montreal. They have a few locations across Quebec. Their yarns are beautiful. They dye them in-house. They also offer other yarns that are not dyed by them. But I find their price point is really good for hand-dyed yarns. And the quality is also really good. Like, this is incredibly soft. The base is douce MCN. So I don't know in English, I guess it's like soft. Maybe it's called soft MCN. I don't know if it's translated or not, but essentially it's merino nylon cashmere. So it is super soft. And then I am holding it with a strand of mohair from another local yarn shop, Espace Tricot. And they have a line that they dye themselves called Bon Tricot. And the colorway that I have is called Sandcastle. And this is kind of what it looks like on its own. And this is the other one together. So why has it taken me since September 2024 to finish? Well, you know, sometimes you get distracted. It's not anything because of the pattern, although you'll notice there are 0 needles in here right now, and that is because that's because if you notice, this section here, I got a little impatient, is much shorter than this section. And then I also got worried that it was feeling a little bit snug, even though the yarn content in here, like I'm pretty sure it's going to stretch out nicely, but I was also just worried that maybe it's going to be a little bit tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip back to here and go up by just 1/4 of a needle size. So I was knitting this on 3.5, so I'm going to go up to 3.75. And I had actually tested it down at the last little row here, and I like the way that it feels / felt. I don't think it's gonna, like, I don't think anybody else is gonna really notice. I think it's just gonna give a little bit of extra space down, like at the hips, although I probably could have used it in the bust as well, but whatever. Let's see what happens. But yeah, I don't really have that much else to say, except for I can't wait to wear it. It is truly so soft. I think it's also going to be super warm, which will be handy this winter. And yeah, so I'm going to cut back to here, not cut back, I'm going to rip back to here, and then I'm going to do, I think, the proper length of one, and then another one, and then we'll see how long it is. I don't want it to be super long. I want it to hit about my waist, probably about the same length as the vest that I'm wearing here. So I think I'll be able to hopefully I won't be playing yarn chicken, and I'll be able to manage some of the length without going into another pattern repeat by adapting the ribbing. So like I said, I'm really looking forward to having this one done and being able to wear it. Okay, next. Okay, so the next one is over here. This one is another one where I'm using Nordlund yarn. So this is I'm blanking, the Miles shirt jacket by Ozetta. And I also am loving this combination. The combo yarn that I'm using with is Rowan Alpaca Haze. It's the light brown color. Again, I'll be linking the actual color name below. This is so soft. Like, this is a dream. And it balances out the Nordlund, because the Nordlund will be soft when it blocks out, but it's not like it's right very close to being unprocessed. Right. Well, it isn't. It's unspun yarn, right? So it is a little bit more picky, I would say, since I have sensitive skin. But this is what I have so far. Oh, and the color for the purple is called Cax Cax, if I'm not mistaken. It was the first color I ever ordered from them. I found out about this yarn maker company through the Knitting a Good Yarn podcast. I got seriously knit-fluenced from them for a lot of things that I do. But yeah, when I got the order, it was a little bit more of a cool tone purple than I had imagined. And originally I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll darken it up. So I found another strand to hold with it. I didn't really love that. And then I was chatting with one of my knitting friends, and she was saying how much she loves brown and purple together. And so that's kind of how I fell on the Rowan alpaca haze. And honestly, like, I think it's nice. I think it makes a really nice marled, and I'm looking forward to being able to just like throw this on. I sized down for this because the pattern calls for a ton of positive ease, and that I do want some ease, but I didn't want as much as the pattern called for, so I'm sizing down to a 4, and I'll also be shortening it compared to what the pattern calls for. And also I have the pockets already done, and I've also made the pockets a little bit smaller than what is called for. That's just my vision for it. I may make another one at some other point and have it at like regular ease, so I have one of each, but for now I'm really excited to have this and to wear it. It's my first Ozetta, I don't remember if I said it, but it's my first Ozetta pattern, and I can see the hype. Like her pattern writing is like super clear, and really easy to follow. And what I really like about it is that she doesn't just give you like the number of increases. She'll say the number of increases should equal approximately X number of inches. And that's helpful to me because I usually don't have a problem getting a stitch gauge, but my row gauge is often short. So I'm super happy to have like both of those indications on the pattern. It makes it like, it takes some of the guesswork out. And so yeah, so I mean, this is also a very popular pattern, but essentially it is a drop shoulder, as you can see here. So you cast on at the back, and then you do your increases. The increases are on both sides of your knitting. For me, I find it came out I was a little bit tight in my knitting, so I'm really hoping that those creases block out. I'm sure they will, but since then I was watching another podcast. I think it's, I can't remember. I'll link it below though. And the person, she was saying that when she's doing make ones, whether it be make one left or make one right, what she does is on the row before, she does a yarn over where the make one is going to be on the next round, so that you have that little bit of extra fabric or extra yarn, and that you're not like stretching the row underneath to pull from it. So I tried that on the second set of mittens, and I feel like for these guys, and I feel like this came out like I wasn't fighting with it or like trying to like dig my way into the yarn below, and I feel like the increases came out like really, really nice and smooth. So unfortunately I didn't have that trick for the start of this one, but I'll know next time. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the shape. Like what drew me to make this is really the shaping of it. Like I love how there's short rows that kind of make a curve in the front and in the back. So I've never done that kind of short row shaping on a garment before, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then also I've looked at some of the comments for the pattern, and a lot of the comments mention about how according to the pickup rate along the neck, the collar can be a little bit floppy. So my intentions for this are to pick up fewer. I might have to like test and learn and see what works best in terms of the pickup rate, but I want it to be a little bit more firm and be able to stand up on its own if I want to wear it that way. So I think that's it. Man, I'm flying through this. I thought this was going to be a lot of a longer video, but I guess not. I do have the buttons already, which I can share. I should have had that up, but when I was in Victoria BC earlier this year. I went to a really cool button shop, and this is the button, and this is, sorry, what it'll, to get an idea, oh, I don't even know, to get an, okay, I don't know if this is working, but to get an idea, that's what it's gonna look like. Yeah, can't wait to be wearing this. I don't know, this is on a 6mm needle, and it goes fast because of the gauge, but also I'm knitting them on these, I don't even know where I got these, to be honest. This was like the very first needle that I did my very first garment with, and I'm fighting with the line quite a bit, but also I don't often knit at this gauge, so I didn't want to be bothered and buy another pair just to have lying around, so I'm making do. So the knitting experience isn't the best, and that's only because of the needles, not because of the yarn or because of the pattern. So that is that. Okay, and then, okay, finally, so I think I'll be happy if I finish my Colette and if I finish my Miles shirt jacket. I think like I'll be pretty happy if I get those done in addition to those gift knits. I have a bonus item. This is leftover from my summer knitting, and I was having a great time knitting it, but then I accidentally cast on this one, and then I just couldn't stop, and then I was just into something else, and you know, I just got sidetracked essentially. But this is the Islet drop by, her last name is Raven. I'm so sorry. Let me find her. Leila Raven. She has a lot of really beautiful patterns. And so essentially it is a, how am I gonna show this? It's a drop shoulder tee. That's from the bottom up. So I've got the whole body complete. That's a better way of showing it. The whole body complete, and I've started on the top. I don't know if it's going to be too big. I got really nervous about gauge and I switched up needle sizes. I guess that's a trend. I guess I should, I don't know. For some reason, I don't trust my gauge swatches as I should. We'll see what's going to happen. If it's loose, that's fine, because the way that it's going to close, so I'm working on the front panel here. This, you can't see it very well, but I'm slowly decreasing in for the neckline, and in the back it's going to do the same, and then basically these guys are going to join up. So, and because it is, there's all these yarn overs, and also because there's the garter stitch in between, I think it is going to grow quite a bit. So we'll see. I have a sweater or a cardigan that I knit earlier this year. I think that would look really cute over it. The yarn is also another shout out to our wonderful Montreal yarn scene, I guess. So the main color here is Sonder Yarns Fleece and Flax, and the color is Dirty Weekend, which I'm really obsessed with, honestly. Like, it's such a great color. And then the mohair in between is another yarn from Leila Biscuit that I was talking about earlier. Their mohair is called Hermione, I believe, and the colorway is Bisque, which is like a light pink. Oh yeah, I have them here. So it's like a light pink. So this is what they look like in skein and what they look like here. This is in fingering weight, so I don't know. I might be able to finish it before the new year. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 repeats before. I don't know, maybe it's ambitious, maybe it's not. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I've got, you know, just over 15 days to finish all of these up. I'll keep you posted on my progress in the new year. Editing Amy here. I skipped right through a super important part. I guess I was a little bit nervous, this being my first video, but what I would love to know is what are you working on? Do you have any goals before the end of the year? Are you mainly focusing on gift knits? Have you challenged yourself to finishing? What are your current whips? I would just love to know. This is such a wonderful community, and I really would love to build that and to hear from you guys. So yeah, just wanted to pop back in and start the conversation. So back to the rest of the video. Some intentions for this channel, I guess we can move into. I'm definitely going to do what I made in 2025. I have ideas for, well, tons of ideas already for my 2026 make 9 planning type loose planning video, and then also eventually get to just regular podcasts with, you know, finished objects, whips, and acquisitions. I don't know. I don't make that many acquisitions that frequently. My yarn stash is at a place where I kind of want to just start working through it. It's not massive, but I have a plan pretty much for almost every single yarn that I have. My brain just works that way. I don't know. I think there's so many pretty yarns that I have already, and if I just buy more, then like my focus will move on to that thing, and then those beautiful yarns will never get used. I don't know. Yarn guilt, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, if you've made it this far, thanks again so much for tuning in. And yeah, stay on the lookout. I will post another video in another couple of weeks. Bye.